So this is our application, CryptoScholar, invest in their future. And it's an application based on the Komodo platform's wonderful blockchain, Spring Boot as a connection between the front end layer to be able to reach Komodo, and an Angular designed front end where most of the UI action occurs. We also use Sketch to design the wireframes for our application. And as you can see right here, the concept behind our application is essentially we think that there's a great possibility with blockchain and scholarships in a lot of ways. And I think it appeals to people because, for one, gold is a more gold is it's not the most stable, really, as well as other forms of bonds and such. We use gold as an example because cryptocurrencies are constantly being referred to as similar to gold or even a better investment because they can survive against the market. So the important part of this application is that we're basically not purchasing scholarships, but we're applying for scholarships and getting that from the Komodo currency, essentially. So as you can see here, you see the UI on this. It's a standard landing page where we have a wallet up here, currently a balance of 0. Then we also have a option to be able to go and apply to scholarships up here, which is the little pencil icon, and then also the start button right here, which is essentially how we start the whole scholarship process. And these images right here, I'd like to talk about them for a little bit because essentially what we're doing is basically making people feel more at home and more free to be actually pursue education wherever they want because they have this steady investment in, or at least they get their scholarships from something along the lines of a cryptocurrency. Komodo would be a great addition in that sense, especially for traditional investors. So now you can see here that I have parts of the application. Um, I'm just showing like a brief idea of like the Angular project, more or less, that you can see here. Just basic services and things like that to be able to connect to the back end, get wallet info, sending things to addresses and whatnot, and then also the other services that you're going to be using in a typical Angular application, which also the services specifically, we use RxJS as an Ajax equivalent to some extent, where you're manipulating observables to receive information. So now, without further ado, right here, we have the process of applying for a scholarship. So you can see here we have a bunch of different names where we have the value and the designation of what type of education they need to be pursuing to be able to get this like scholarship or something. So as you can see, Satoshi Scholar and Data's Data, affectionately named after our teacher, Dr. Data. So let's go ahead and apply for that, essentially. So whenever you click this button, you're essentially applying to a scholarship, and that should be done momentarily. So right here you see that that scholarship has been applied to. And if you look right here at things, here is another application which is basically showing what's going on with the Spring Boot application as well as behind the hood with the Komodo platform, more or less. You can see here we have our wallet for the scholarship platform, right, as well as each one of these, and then we also have the wallet for our user, which does have some pre-balance in it, more or less, just because we have been utilizing this wallet for our primary just testing purposes. So bear in mind that there are not that as many transactions as it says there. But you can see here that whenever we check the wallet afterwards with the 2,500 Komodo coin balance, right, that you're able to see the difference in that wallet amount. It's actually a little bit different, I believe, because right here we changed some things, but you can see there's an unconfirmed balance of 2,500 because it's just occurring right now, essentially. And as you can see right here, that's been confirmed and everything's good on that end. There was a delay in the UI here, as you can see. So we show you that, and the real change in the amount of scholarship available occurs in a moment, essentially. And our application was a little bit slow to it because basically we hosted both of our nodes on one computer, and it didn't have the most RAM or ability to run it. So we were really running at wit's end trying to get those nodes to work perfectly on a computer with less RAM than what is desirable. But we did it, so it works out fantastic now. So now, enough about the backend. Now you can look at the UI. You can look at your transactions and whatnot, and then there's also a designation for the date on each transaction to show the date, essentially. You can also see up there that that wallet balance changed. If we're to go back to this right here, so you'll see as well that this is only regarding like a single local instance of a wallet. So basically, what's happening here is we're storing and caching their transactions on the or not caching them necessarily yet. That's something we wish to add, but the mechanism behind that would be we'd have to add some extra security, more or less, to be able to do that in an effective manner. So really, we're only showing that transactions that they've done in a single instance of this application for right now. But with further time, we could do more on this end as well as provide other things, which I'll talk about at the end as well. So as you see here, there's more scholarships that we're just gonna apply to one more just to give you guys a good look of the feel of our application, more or less, because we thought that was nice. As you can see, another scholarship is added. It dynamically adds that scholarship as well as the information about it, essentially. And then you see right here that changed as well again, so you're able to see the available balance in that fund, the scholarship fund that has multiple options essentially to apply for. The back-end processing on applying to a scholarship is not necessarily there right now, because if we were to do that, we would have to talk to a better subject matter expert on this, essentially. So then we could talk about that, and that's another talking point with this sort of application, more or less, in the future. That's one of the things I said that we talk about. Anyways, let's go back to the main app. So right here, we have this application, and it's been, like I said, it's using, we use Sketch to make wireframes of it, and then we use Angular to essentially create that front end and be able to make that connection to the Spring Boot API on the back end that eventually connects to our main data storage, the Komodo platform. So that is our application in whole. There were some things that we thought would be interesting to add in the future, like, for example, in terms of an application, funds are an interesting concept because crowdfunding and things like that is a big idea. So what if you had a community platform or something like that where they could essentially utilize that, more or less, and that would be a very valuable asset to show people how powerful Komodo is as a platform. And for right now, it's only a simple scholarship application, but with time, we could create a better prototype or demo that could show just how valuable it is. Anyways, we had a lot of fun working on this project together as a whole. My name's Christopher Barnwell.
And Navaneeth Thekkumpat.
And this is our application, CryptoScholar. We're really grateful that Dr. Data has given us this opportunity to utilize the Komodo platform, and that's all there is to it today. And thank you for listening to our video, and hopefully you are interested in scholarships in the cryptocurrency that in backing scholarships through cryptocurrency.